Hi. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Friday? I'm not sure how many people I will get on here, which is fine. I have no problem talking to myself. Um, it's 11:26 in the morning, which means it's like what, 5 something in most of Western Europe. I just wanted to come on and talk about this went really well. I just wanted you guys to know I've had such an amazing semester as a first year college teacher. Um, I teach at Georgia State University's Perimeter College. So Perimeter College is basically a college within the university that they created to get. It's a college, but it's a feeder school for Georgia State University. And teaching these first year, um, it's like for a lot of my students, it's their first time ever getting formal music training. Like some of them are coming straight from high school. Some of them are in their early 30s or whatever it is, and it's like they've decided they want a music degree, and so this is kind of the route that they're taking. Hi. This is the route that they're taking. Like, okay, well, let me get myself prepared. They enroll in Perimeter, and then from there, once they get into the music program, and then most likely they'll feed into GSU. They're at GSU technically, but you know what I mean. They'll feed into the university level for the rest of their 4 years. And so it's been so rewarding. One of the things I've always wanted to do is teach classical voice at an academic level, because I know what classical voice did for me. And I know that a lot of my contemporary students may not have the same appreciation for bel canto technique in its full form as I do. And so while I teach a lot of bel canto to my non classical students, well, when I say I teach a lot, I pretty much teach bel canto. I guess you would say I teach a mix of bel canto with a little bit of speech level singing, but I really think speech level singing is kind of born out of bel canto. So either way, the point is, I'm basically a bel canto teacher. I call my technique bel canto with a twist. And the twist is that I also teach belting, for females that, classical teaching doesn't really do. So, it's just been an amazing semester. My hiring professor, the head professor, absolutely adores me. He sat in one of my classes, and he was really impressed with how well I vocalized a young lady. He was like, I was in your class for like a half an hour, and to hear where she started to where she was by the time you were introducing your music, which was about 20-25 minutes in, he was like, he's like, there's something, he said, it was such a skill. And so he said, there's something very intuitive about how you dealt with her voice to get her where she needed to be. And he was like, I hear so much in her voice now. And she's going to do great. Like, I hear so much. She's going to be an amazing soprano one day. She's fresh out of high school. I'm so excited to be working with her, but I've worked with several students in just of all kinds of different backgrounds. These people work full time, but the point is, it kind of sucks with COVID because I've never been on campus. So I don't really get the vibe of the school because everything has been home. But I've totally enjoyed working with these students, and I've totally enjoyed introducing them to a whole new area of rep. They were, really intimidated at first. Like, I've never done classical singing, or I've only done it in a choir setting or whatever. And so for at the end of the semester to see their level of appreciation for classical voice, to see them say, am I going to get you next semester? And I'm like, oh, you like me. So to see their level of appreciation for the art of singing, to see them singing with, their mouth perched and yeah, that's so funny. That is the goal one day. That is literally the goal. So to see them like, And when you came to me 4 months ago, you were like, I'm an R&B singer. But then you do that, like, oh my God, my heart. So in short, I've had an amazing semester. Everybody has all kinds of different things that they're dealing with as far as home life, especially at the community college level. People have full-time jobs. So I feel like they're easing their way into the college experience. My goal, my dream, it's funny. These are short-term goals. I really want to teach diction. Like, I'll feel like I'm really coming up in the world if they put me in charge of a diction class. That's just how I feel. Oh, thank you. Good morning, Anthony. Yeah. If music be the food of love, sing on, sing on, sing on, sing on. Filled with joy. Like, what? Oh, I'm an R&B singer. Not anymore, sis. I love it. And I also love that these are all people of color. I think most of my students were Black. I think I had one Latina. And I think it's representation matters. Hi. Oh, we need to. Representation matters. I never had a Black teacher. The only Black teacher I ever had was in my master's program, John Williams. Literally met him like my last semester or something like that I really worked with him, and he's amazing. But he wasn't my private teacher. He was my opera teacher, which of course he busted my balls. But the point is, I never had a Black female teacher. So I think as Black people, I can only imagine the excitement of seeing a Black woman classical singer and that being the person that teaches me. Like, so thank you. Yeah, we need to do it. Totally. Are you kidding me? I have so many books now. I have a library. My room is a mess because I bought all these books at the beginning of the semester because I'm going to be studious, right? Well, I have books. I've had books anyway, but then I bought all these repertoire books. And so at this point, I need a bookshelf. And I'm not really like a decorating type. So that's like a big deal. Like, whoa, I'm buying a bookshelf, you know? So I had a lot of books with a lot of rep for alto, soprano, tenor, all of that, because I just wanted to make sure I was prepared. And I feel like I don't have a quarter of what I need. Hey, Angel. What is my advice for people trying to learn and be able to teach gospel music? Oh my gosh. I think it's the same advice you would do for anything else. You have to immerse yourself into it. It's because gospel singing is more than just what you're doing vocally. It's kind of the culture behind it. So, you know, study the greats, but study how they function in church. Study, you know, listen to what the organists are doing and how the vocals play off of what the organ is doing. Funny thing, Kojics have a way of singing, Baptists have a way of singing, Methodists have a way of singing. If you really listen to different vocal patterns, you'll be like, you sound real Baptist right now. You know, you might hear people say that, or you sound real Kojic. That's important to understand the culture behind gospel singing. From a technical standpoint, I would say you need to study belts. So like what we learned in vocal pedagogy, where with the belt, it's more of an like you're eating an apple. That's really, really helpful in gospel music. And don't be afraid of being more nasal. People shy away from being nasal because they don't want people to say they're nasal, but some of the best singers have a super nasal resonance, which everyone should have a nasal resonance, by the way. The reason why you won't sound hyper nasal is because your soft palate is lifted. Online it is for now. Yeah, seriously. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally okay with the online thing. I wish I could have, gotten on campus, but to be honest with you, anyone that knows me knows I live in the boondocks. I don't live in Atlanta, so that would be like a 50-mile drive. And Atlanta, 50 miles, that's like, you better leave like an hour and a half to 2 hours ahead of time, just because you have no idea what traffic's going to do. So I was okay. I'm totally okay with it. Oh, that's awesome. No, never, never. There was another teacher who he was never my private teacher. And I loved my private teachers, by the way. They were amazing. I'm literally a product of everything they've ever told me. But Oral Moses at Kennesaw State University, Dr. Oral Moses. I think I had one lesson with him, and I was going over Give Me Jesus. And he was the one that gave me the tip, because I was like, give me Jesus. And he was like, why don't you round it? Jesus. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Little things. It does. Oh, wow. That it makes a huge difference. Come on and catch flights. I hope I answered it. The nasal resonance is what makes your voice sound forward. People say forward resonance because they don't want to say nasal, but that's what it is. The forward resonance is basically you feeling the pressure behind the nose. But people don't want to say push this voice in the nose because they know that's going to make people go, this in the nose. But it's just as much in the nose. It's just your soft palate is lifted. See what I mean? And as Americans, we pretty much have a nasal way of speaking anyway. And nobody's walking around saying, I sound so nasal. Nobody's saying that. But we do have a nasal way of speaking. And I think that that's a really good pattern to just kind of carry into your singing. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, Isaac? Yes. But the thing is, the nasal pharyngeal placement is good for any singing, for bel canto. Like, without it, what are you sounding like? Oh, no, you want to go. You want it there, right? Yeah, you would get more voice. What's your tip for someone who wants to sing but is worried their parents go deaf? Oh, well, if you live with your parents, you just have to kind of live within the parameters of, they're paying the bills. You're kind of subject to what makes them comfortable, unfortunately. Especially if you're an adult, there's no reason for them to put themselves in discomfort for you. So pay your own rent and then sing as ugly as you want. Thank you so much. I'm assuming you're talking about Christmas. I don't know if it was really a project. Well, I guess it was a project, I actually did 7 songs that day. I recorded 7 songs. So I have some stuff coming out for Valentine's Day as well. I'm very excited about that. But I haven't even put out my 3rd song. Is going to be Mary Did You Know? And I hope you guys really love it. Planning on putting it out Sunday. So you guys share it, okay? I know you like it, and I appreciate that you like it. But I'm trying to reach a new audience. So please share my videos. Please. Share it with your loved ones. Share it with your hated ones. Share it with them all. Sharing is caring. Christmas bosom. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My MD is amazing, and those musicians were amazing. This is COVID. There was no rehearsal, They showed up, and it was like, okay, what are we doing, guys? Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's do it. And pretty much what you've seen is one take. Those were one takes, and there's move on. What's next? So I'm really proud of that. I feel like that's what I've always wanted. Get really, really gifted people in the room, and magic happens. So thank you. Oh, my hair is just wearing me thin today. But I'm getting my hair done tonight. So it's going to be very fiery again. Oh, why did I just scratch? Ooh, that's going to burn. That's going to burn when she puts that bleach on there. How many times a day should you do warm-ups? I think you should do warm-ups probably first thing in the morning, or to kind of vocalize a little bit. But I mean, for somebody like me, I'm talking all day, right? So my job is really to kind of conserve my voice a little bit. Um, I think you should just warm up your voice if you haven't used it in a while, but now you have to use it. So just make sure you're warmed up. I used to live with my fam. They basically had no time. Well, good for you. Being that this was my first semester and I did everything from home, I didn't have any obstacles, to be totally honest with you. It's been great so far. But like I said, it's been 4 months. Haven't been in the building with people. My hiring professor really respects me. He thinks really highly of me. He's so happy I'm on board. He's so happy that I understood the technical stuff of how to teach online. He sat in my lessons and he walked away saying, "I'm so glad you're here." I think for me, being Black has been a plus, to be honest with you, because I feel like that's just another layer of relatability for their students. So happy I can help you with your dreams. Sing in the car. Thank you. My favorite warm up to eliminate voice break. Um, that the basic concept of just the slide. See? What do I do to keep mucus out of my throat? I don't eat foods that are mucus producing. I don't eat foods that are mucus producing. I know when it's time to eat, what's going to happen. So I kind of plan it like, okay, how many lessons do I have left? What is this client going to need? Okay, cool. I can do this. But if I have to actually sing, no, I'm just not going to eat things that are mucus producing. I love that exercise. I do, because it goes over the whole octave and then more. So like it works on agility. It works on so many things. Well, man of God, you asked what's my favorite. Oh, that's so funny. Thank you. My techniques on breathing? You guys can do that. See? You can do it. Technique on breathing. I'm not really. I mean, I do breathing, but I kind of like to do breathing in the context of singing, if that makes sense. In the very beginning, I kind of isolate breathing, but for the most part, I just kind of like for it to be a part of how we manage the air and the voice as it comes out. Usually, and this is because a lot of times the reason why people are running out of air is not because they didn't take in a good enough breath, it's because they didn't manage the breath well, and usually that has to do with phonation. Oh, thank you. I love it. Isn't it so musical? See ya. Say that. Some men can do it. Is singing all about the basics? I'm not sure what that means. Is singing all about the basics? I mean, there are some basics that need to be there, and if they're not there, then you're not really a singer, or you're not singing well. You can't really bypass certain things and become a good singer. You'll always kind of be limited. I think what we enjoy listening to versus what good singing is can be very different. So, like fast, I don't know. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Good morning. Oh, you're so beautiful. Just got healed from COVID. Oh, wow. You is finna plug your group, huh? How can you strengthen your breathing? Again, like I said, for me, I kind of put the breathing in. First of all, you might want to, well, I was going to say you might want to do vocal therapy or some sort of yoga or exercising or whatever it is that allows your blood to pump so that you have to take in deeper breaths and you have to manage your breaths more because your heart is beating more. Some people do like take in the air for 10 seconds, hold your breath for 10 seconds, release the air for 10 seconds. That will probably help you manage your breath a little bit better. I'm sorry, I'm just waiting on comments to come through. I don't see anything. I don't see anything coming through, and I don't want to assume it's because you guys aren't writing it. Sometimes it takes a second and then a bunch of them come through. There's a few breathing warm-up. Oh, hissing is good. So like, can you even see? Hold on. Until it's all gone, and then breathe in. Notice everything expands. So, all gone. And then you're pushing out and down, or you can go stuff like that. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Oh gosh, now all the comments are coming through. Georgian music. I don't think so. Isn't that kind of Middle Eastern, like near Turkey? Fun fact, I was invited to Georgia to do a show called Your Face Sounds Familiar. I think it's a show that goes through the UK and parts of the Middle East. Either way, I didn't take the gig. Long story. Stupid decision. But I would have spent 3 months in the country of Georgia if I would have taken that. They asked me to be a coach. Bye. Who is that? I have no idea who that is. You're welcome. I'm well, thank you. I'm having a great morning so far. I just did my first jury and audition for one of my music students at the college. So I'm very excited. I felt so official. You guys don't know, it's so weird and full circle because just a few months ago, I was doing juries. I was singing the jury. I was the nervous person, like, oh my God, I hope they don't pick that song. Oh my God, I hope this one doesn't bomb. Oh my God. And now I'm the one doing, oh, this is so cool. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I don't know who she is, but that sounds amazing. I don't know who she is. Who is she to you? Who is she to you? I eyes can see. Is it normal to discover a new accessible register? I mean, I guess if you're using your voice a lot, you're going to discover things. It's not abnormal. It's normal if you're really into it, you know? Like, oh, when did I start being able to do that? Uh huh. Uh huh. I don't really know why. Well, the PS5 is sold out, so I told my kids they're getting clothes for Christmas. You won't lose your voice. You will, asking for myself, you won't lose your voice. You'll probably lose a certain amount of faculty of it for sure. You know, like you'll just kind of be like, whoa, what was that? Yeah. I can finally say it. One of my students got admitted to the music program. I'm so excited. She was so good. Oh my gosh, she was so good. I'm so proud of her. Could I cry? But yeah, the answer to that question is if you don't sing for a year, your voice will just start to feel, I guess, stiff. You'll probably lose some range. And it's not that it's lost forever, it's just you haven't used it. You know, it's like a muscle. I don't want to say it atrophies, but you know, if you don't use it, you have to rebuild that conditioning. You have to condition yourself. That's the word. It needs to be conditioned, reconditioned. I've heard of that group. Okay, cool. Uh, oh my goodness. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to go. I'm sorry. Sorry to abruptly leave, but I got to get ready for a client. Oh, what is this? How do you encourage naturally gifted kids to be disciplined and take lessons? When do you start a child in voice lessons? I think you start them in voice lessons, I would say no sooner than 7 or 8. Really, like 10. But, and I say that because the voice is so small, there's not a whole lot that we can do as voice teachers. I mean, we can teach them proper, you know, we can teach them diction, we can teach them mouth space and all of that. But their voice will just kind of grow into it over time. But when I say grow into it over time, I'm talking years. The younger you start them, the longer it'll take for them to grow into it. Of course, there are some 10-year-old prodigies that sing as well as, you know, grown women and better. I have one of those students. She's just amazing, but those are rare. So when do you get a child to be disciplined? I would think the way that I approach things with kids, I'm not saying I know everything, but I kind of let them lead me to what they want to do. So if you see that a child is already disciplining themselves and really interested in something, then you invest. That's how I do it. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't teach the kid how to just be disciplined with something they don't want to do. But I think there are certain things, like my child in gymnastics. She's brilliant, but I don't think she's brilliant in gymnastics because I put her in gymnastics. I noticed she was amazing, and so I decided to put her in gymnastics, and then she just took off. So that's kind of how I approach things. I like to see the gift kind of show itself, and then you put them in, so that you're not dragging them along. I would say yes, absolutely. Oh, thank you. How you work on a vocal range for a man without yelling? Well, your vocal range is chesty. So you just have to probably figure out how to make it musical, or accept that the sound you're making is musical and not yelling like you think it is. So there's so many psychological things that go into how we interpret our voice. What may sound fine to me, you might be like, oh my God, this is horrible. But I'm like, but that's your voice. What do you want it to do? So sometimes that's kind of the issue. You not accepting the sound of your voice, you know. But I'm going to go. I have some paperwork to fill out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this beautiful afternoon. Look out for my next video. Look out for my next video. Mary, did you know your baby boy will one day walk on water? It's going to be so good. Like I said, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to let you guys go now. Have a great afternoon.